Hi there, my name is Jesse and today we're going to be making burger and chips. From scratch, of course. So, you're wondering, well, you can't really cook if you just stood here. You're not wondering anything. Come over here, I'll show you. So we have our ingredients here that we're going to need for the recipe today. We have peeled potatoes. We did this to save time because we're doing this hopefully in just a short amount of time, as little as we can. We've got 500 grams of beef mince. Now you can use whatever mince you want, but beef mince is burgers. It's mostly what you go for. Egg for the binder. Then we have some mixed herbs, salt, pepper, oil for frying, and for the chips. We'll be using some parchment paper. So if you have that, get that. If not, you can use tin foil, or if you trust your baking tray enough, use that, as long as it's non-stick. We also have a measuring spoon for the oil, just a little accessory, isn't it? And a meat thermometer, which again is not needed. This is a cheap, quick and easy meal that anyone on a budget can make. This meal came to under £4 for the portion we'll be making today, which is 4 beef burgers and a small portion of chips from these 3 lovely potatoes here. So the water we've got is now coming up to boiling temperature, which means the potatoes are going in for a bath for about 10 to 15 minutes, just so that they can soften up, and we're essentially blanching them. We're not fully cooking them through, but getting them malleable enough so we can cut them into chip shapes, and we want them to essentially have a fluffy middle. Once they've got a fluffy middle, we're golden. If you want to follow me over to the oven, I'll get these in. So it should be coming up to just under boiling right now. We got it on a low temperature at the minute. Going to drop them in gently, not too violently, let's not disturb the water. Just going to cover that and keep a close eye on it, because when it starts to bubble, it starts to bubble. Keep an eye on that. There's some tricks online you can see, like putting a wooden spoon over your pan to help reduce the bubbles from overflowing. However, we may well see a mistake in this one, just because it always happens. If we head back over to the desk, we'll start chopping our onion. Then, when we do that, we should get some nice diced onion. It's not super squared onion, it's just diced. Loosely chopped, and the reason it's loosely chopped is it will distribute through the burger and give us a really, really lovely burger. Okay, now, once you stop crying, excuse me, so if you come here, you can see, now we have some quite nice loosely chopped onions with some fine dicing in there from the second half. So we're going to be putting this in with a mince, and then we're going to be massaging the mince. We're starting off, cup, fork, egg. Forgot to show you, you needed these. Well, you know you needed the egg. This is the binding. This is going to help the onion and the mince stick together when we create the patties. What we're going to do, let's hopefully not fudge this up. Perfect, lovely. Now some people add salt and pepper to the egg. I don't think that's important because we're going to be adding salt and pepper to the whole mixture in just a second. Checking the potatoes, of course, making sure they're not overflowing. What are we going to do with this, you think? We're going to lob it in the bowl, like so. This is the part where you get your hands dirty. Use it for these, get a couple tablespoons of mixed herbs, gives it that aroma, gives it that classic luxury smell. Gourmet, I'll have you know. And we're going to mix it through. So this might sound a bit weird if the mic decides to pick it up. The idea is to really just sort of bring it together into really a ball if we can. People try make mince burgers, and you can do it. It's just very difficult to keep it together when it's frying. Some people like to just use mince and that's it. Make a mince burger essentially. And you can do that, yes you can. And you make patty like that as well. We keep it all together so that we can make a giant patty. we're gonna make a giant beef burger. Okay, that's not good enough for you. You want separate burgers, don't you? Okay, you want separate burgers. We'll give you separate burgers. Fine, fine, whatever. You want separate burgers, all you have to do is rip off a little ball. Now, because we are only making 4 burgers out of this mixture, and you can make as many as you want, you make sliders if you like. I'm gonna grab a decent wee bit, form another ball. The reason I say form a ball is because it gives you the most even shape when you press it down. Okay, so once you've formed them, your very oniony burgers, you can use less than, I personally, thinking about this, and it's fine, hindsight's a wonderful thing and that's why we're doing this. We're having a bit of fun with this. I'd use half an onion, half a cooking onion, if you're only doing 4 burgers. If you're doing more, get a bit more mincemeat and then use a whole cooking onion. That way that you get less onion throughout the burgers individually. So that's all well and good, leave them. Wash your hands. And I need that water. So, they've just came off of the boil. You can go ahead and leave that on the hob. Now what you're going to want to do is, without burning yourself too much, while your glass is steaming up, going to leave them for a few seconds to just chill. Pan oven, but it's because I don't want to wait as long. I'm more bothered about the outside than the inside. Okay, once you've rinsed your potatoes off, you don't necessarily need the ice water, just make sure all of the starch is rinsed off so they're manageable and you can handle them. And then you're going to bring them over to your pre-prepared chopping board from earlier that totally didn't appear there by magic, making those move over there. And you're going to want to start batoning them for your chips. Now you can do loose batons, that's probably what we're going to go with. Proper home style chips. Super soft to cut, as you can see. This one has a bit more of a dense inside, so maybe a bit longer would have been good for them, but they will do because they're going in the oven. Okay, so we've just got done tossing them. They're mostly starch free, so what we're going to do now is just pat them dry onto a paper towel. We've laid out where our chopping board is. Okay, so we have now patted them dry. We've put them into the tray. They look lovely. We're going to salt and pepper them. So we're going to start off with a light bit of pepper. This is a personal preference. Again, salt and pepper as you would like usually. Not all of this obviously is going to be on every individual chip. And some of this will dry and fall off the chips as well, so don't worry about getting too much pepper on there. Now if you're unsure, you can just move these about, but we can see they've all got a decent amount. We've got the burgers there, they're ready to go into the pan in just a moment. But because these are going to take 20 to 25 minutes in a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius in a fan oven or electric oven, or about gas mark 6 or 7 on a conventional oven. Yeah, we're gonna wait until about halfway through before cooking the burgers. So that's how you make homemade cheeseburger and chips. It came in at under £4 for 4 burgers. That can be 6 burgers, 6 smaller burgers that is, and of course a sack of potatoes, loads of chips from that, as well as your spices and everything you need will be in your cupboard. So it should be cheap, easy to make and delicious. We'll be trying that in just a second. You saw how beautiful it looked once it was all assembled and brought together, and we're going to enjoy that as our dinner for tonight. Other than that, I've been Jesse, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show that doesn't have a name because it isn't a show. See you all in the next one.